Hello. This is Fadelessword, most people use Fadeless, and this is another episode of Yaps. We're gonna have, what's this game called again? Unbeatable in the background. That's what we're gonna be playing in the background. And yeah, that's kinda it. I'm not too good at this game, so don't worry about the background. The thing we were gonna talk about, I didn't really have like a big topic laid out this time around, mostly because I'm kind of recording this a little late. I'm recording this like pretty late, to be honest. Like, I kind of forgot I needed to record in general, and the whole thing about it came up and I'm like, oh shoot, I need to release an episode because it's coming up on the date. I was very busy. But hi, today it's kind of just my random thoughts, but we're gonna be talking kind of about, like, how do you put it? Kind of about like how we're gonna talk about motivation, kinda. Because I think motivation is a very important thing and something that kinda comes up like pretty importantly when it comes to stuff like streaming, content creation, or just making things in general, like creative projects. Especially without like deadlines and stuff. And it's like, wow, it's hard to have motivation to complete something in a certain amount of time without like a deadline. Even if you set like yourself a deadline, I find it like always kind of difficult because it's like, oh, you could kind of do it in this time, but there's not really a repercussion if you don't do it in this time. That's kind of how like the Hello Charlotte video I posted got delayed like so much because I took my time with it. And I think it came out for the better because I took my time with it, but I could have released it earlier as well if I like worked faster on it as well. So it's kind of like that. So motivation's always been like a tough thing because I think in general, I'm very much more so like, I don't know, if something doesn't work out like quickly, I tend to like not stick to it for too long, you know? Or at least that's how I used to be. I think now it's like, I'll definitely commit to something a lot longer, especially if I like doing it, right? If I really like doing something, I'm gonna commit to it for like a much longer amount of time than I would like something than I used to do, even for things I liked. Even for things I liked, if I wasn't like good at them quickly or I didn't like see a result from them quickly, I tend to like not stick to them too much longer. I think with streaming and content creations, like, you know, I think overall, like, my stuff is like, how do you put it? I wouldn't say I'm like huge, right? Like, I'm not a huge streamer or content creator in like any way. If anything, I'm a pretty small creator, right? I was like, yeah, I think if it was the older me from before, I would have probably quit since there's no result. Or like, not like a distinct result that you can see palpable with numbers and stuff. Not talking about like results that you see when you're like personal growth, not talking about personal growth results, but yeah, like I played some competitive games and then I'm like, I'm doing all right in them, but like the results are varied and I'm not like, you know since they were varied, I'm like, I won't get too into them, you know. And kind of end up like quitting over them, right? But it's like, I don't know, I've definitely changed my motivation a lot into being more like, even if I don't become like a very big content creator, streamer, or whatever, right? It's like, well, that's okay with me because as long as I'm making something I enjoy, then I feel like I have accomplished what I wanted. And that's like a really big thing about it, right? Like with content creation, it's a lot of like, oh, well, you could be very focused on like numbers and blah, 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 blah. But I found it like best to be like, well, this is fun for me. And I'm having like a fun time doing this, you know? So it's like, I will just commit to it and do it more because it's something I enjoy doing. And I'm making stuff I like enjoy making. And I can like look back on and be like, okay, I really liked making this and it was really cool, right? So I think that's been a lot of my motivation, that like instead of looking at it from like a results oriented or perspective of like, oh, I'm gaining X amount of number at X amount of time, I'm viewing it more in the sense of, okay, well, this is what I made and I feel satisfied with the result of what I've made. And that's good with me to just stick with doing something. Of course, it's not like a sustainable thought, right? Like, I don't think it's exactly sustainable to be like, I guess if you view it in a cost perspective, at least for the free stuff, it can be sustainable. Sometimes taxing, but sustainable nonetheless if it's like not a cost thing. But if it comes down to a cost thing, then it becomes unsustainable, which makes it hard to always justify due to unsustainability. But I think if it like makes you feel satisfied with what you've made or done, I think that definitely helps me. Like, it definitely helps with my motivation to keep working on stuff and improving the stuff I'm working on and try new things as well. I think a lot of my motivation has leaned towards I want to try out new things in what I make and change up, like, and not just commit to doing one thing. Because while I think doing one thing and getting really good at it's cool, I'm more of a person who like likes doing multiple things. So a lot of my motivation comes from the fact that I can just kind of boot up a different thing and just enjoy doing that and learning about that and kind of like figuring out my way with that new thing, you know? It's never like easy though in that perspective though, if that makes sense. Because a lot of that motivation that I put in there comes like exclusively like from myself and the things I make. So if I like make something and I'm not satisfied with it, then it lowers my motivation because I made something I wasn't like happy or satisfied with. So I think that definitely holds back a lot of those deadline things I mentioned. Because I tend to like hold off on stuff until I'm satisfied with the result of it. But I think it helps because then I don't get like demotivated that I released something I wasn't satisfied with, you know? There's a very push and pull there because it's like not one way or the other, but like there's a lot of different perspectives and stuff when it comes down to it on like what the motivation is. And I think like before, as I mentioned, I used to be very like number, result, something, some like end result orientated, right? I hit this, so this was good enough and I have succeeded, or I didn't hit this and you know what, I don't want to keep trying on that. That's what it used to be, right? So it's different when it comes to like something creative. I guess this is also a difference in like doing something creativity based versus something where you can like easily get a result. Because with creativity things, it's like, what is the result you're looking for? Is the result you're looking for more so oriented around like, oh, a value or a number that you've gained? Or is it orientated around like, I succeeded in X thing, or I made this thing I thought I couldn't make before? So it always comes down to that perspective. And yeah, I think my perspective has shifted a lot into I was able to make this thing that I couldn't envision myself making beforehand, but I got around to making anyways, and it turned out in a way that I'm very satisfied and happy with. That satisfaction definitely contributes a lot to my motivation. I think without the satisfaction, it wouldn't be as like, how do you put it? As like enjoyable. And I think that's for a lot of things. If you're not satisfied in like what you're doing, then it never really turns out enjoyable for you, right? There's a lot of enjoyment that comes from satisfaction that they kind of go hand in hand, right? Satisfaction, I guess you'd kind of view as like the lower version of enjoyment. But I mean, I feel like they're more hand in hand. Not synonymous, but correlated, I guess, is the specific word I'm looking for. But yeah, I think that's what really pushes me to go into like hundreds of projects, not hundreds, but like tens of projects all at once, being like, I want to make this now. If I wait longer, I will lose motivation and not do it because I've waited a long time to do something. So I'm just gonna commit with my whole chest into something until it's like done. And that's how like the recent projects have come around. Like I committed into like, whatchamacallit, starting a tipathon for the month of November and streaming daily in November, because if I didn't do it now, I wasn't gonna do it in the future. At least that's how I view it, right? That's why I committed into making this show. If I didn't just go for it when I did, I probably wouldn't have done it in the future. Because I didn't just jump on it, right? I think jumping on things helps my motivation a ton, because I think it's very demotivating if you have something you want to do and then you hold off on it until you feel like it's a perfect time later. Because there's always like, there can be a perfect time, there can't be a perfect time. And if you look at it like numbers oriented or like results oriented, then it's like, there is a perfect time, for sure. There's a perfect time for you to start everything. There's a perfect time for you to upload stuff. There's a perfect time for you to do all of that, right? But if you look at it more in a perspective of you're motivated to do something, you're excited to work on something, and that excitement comes like once in it's like a fire. It's like a raging fire that gets stopped. If you smother the ember like too quickly, and don't let it like fan it out or grow into something that fans out, and that fire isn't gonna like rage at all. It'll be snuffed out, right? So similarly to a fire, I feel like when I just commit to things immediately, rather than being wishy-washy about it and being like, oh, I'll do it later at a different time in the future. It's like, oh, well, maybe I just won't do it at all, right? That's how I am, at least, with it. Because I definitely used to be more wishy-washy about stuff. Like, I think when I started streaming way back when, I was so like, I want to do this, but I can't do it right now because I should hold off on it till later. And then later, when I'm able to, I can do it better and it'll be nicer and all of that, right? It's all of that that I used to like experience and think about. And nowadays I'm just like, okay, I have an idea. I'm just gonna rip it. I'm gonna try to work on it. It's gonna come out how it comes out. If it doesn't come out amazingly, it happens. It happens. Not everything comes out amazingly. I'll just give it another shot later. I'll just keep pushing until it's refined and better. If I give an exact example, this project that is making this show weekly. Show? What do you call it, a show? It's a series or something. Uploading these weekly. My thought was I need to upload on YouTube. I've wanted to do a like just yapping thing forever. I didn't know how to approach it at all. Screw it, I'm just gonna record, I'm gonna throw a game in the background, and I'm just going to talk to myself about a topic that I feel at random. Sometimes not even have a topic and just ramble about random whatever. And I am just gonna commit to this. People might like it, people might hate it. I am just going to do it until I can do it well. And when I can do it well, then I'm going to be satisfied with what I've done. And when I can do it, and when I can be satisfied with it, I can be happy with everything I made. And the fact that I started when I started, instead of not aiming to start and waiting it out until later. Because if I waited out till later, all these skills I'm developing of like learning to speak about random stuff, well, I am so focused on this game that is tearing me to shreds because I don't know how to rhythm game sometimes, especially when I'm new at them. God, I'm bad at them sometimes. But even then, if I could just talk and persist through talking, I have succeeded in a skill I have been wanting to build, and I am satisfied in that. And I have hopefully made something that you might find entertaining while listening to. Maybe on a train ride, a car ride, just in the background while you're doing something else. I don't know where you watch these. It'd be cool to find out, but I mean, hey, wherever you watch these, I appreciate you watching them, by the way. But again, it's like, I'm glad I started when I started rather than holding off on it longer. I think it's something I had thought about with streaming, right? I think I started streaming later than I wanted to start streaming by a little bit, because I was like, I don't have the equipment, it won't turn out good, it'll be boring, I don't have the people skills, I don't have the time, blah, 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 blah. If I started earlier, I think I would have gotten to do more things earlier as well. I would have succeeded earlier in certain things. I could have done so much stuff earlier than I started, and then I waited too long to start on stuff, And then it took me longer to learn other things. And you know, it's kind of like, I'm kind of blabbing here, but like, if I started earlier, I could have done and learned all the things I've learned through streaming, like much earlier than I have like now, is what I'm trying to say specifically. Like, I still learned what I have up till now, but like, let's say I started 6 months earlier, right? I'd have 6 months more knowledge of streaming and points of streaming that I wouldn't have had, that I don't have like right now, and that maybe I'll have in how many ever months. How many ever months from now, maybe I'll have that knowledge, but I don't have it if because I didn't start like, let's say 6 months earlier, right? Stuff like that, right? When I thought of that with like how I didn't start streaming earlier in that case when I wanted to, but I was wishy-washy about it, it made me kind of refine this resolution of I am just gonna go, pedal to the metal, push myself into making whatever I can, whenever I can, until I am completely satisfied with what I've made and drained of any more ideas to the point where I don't have any more. And I can't think of any more, right? I feel like everything I learn in skills adds to something else, and the fact that I'm doing it as early as possible when I have the motivation for it and can put my whole being into something, that's amazing to me, right? That's so much like learning I get just right there. And like a lot of people will tell you like, oh, it's better to start like later and things, or like wait longer. And I definitely know that feeling, and I know that argument, because I mean, yeah, you could do something better in the future. Maybe this vision of something you have would turn out so much better in like 3 years, 4 years, right? And even then, I feel like for me personally, I have found that if I just commit to something, I will be more happy with it than if I wait on something. Because if I wait on something, it's so many what ifs. What if I had started earlier, right? What if I didn't wait? And I feel like even if you complete something later, and it works out later even, you think of like, well, if I started this earlier, I would, maybe this would have worked out earlier too. Maybe I would have done something different. Maybe I would have learned something different, right? And I think even if you succeed in something like that, it's honestly really demotivating when that thought just creeps into the back of your mind, that what if. What ifs are so demotivating, or at least can be, right? When you think about them a lot. I'm a very, how do you put this? I'm a person who likes to think of the what ifs very often. Even if I don't want to, my brain will just be like, what if you thought about this now? It's like, no, why would you bring this up? It's okay, we don't have to talk about this. I was like, okay, well now I'm thinking about this. And it demotivates me. And it's different per person. I'm just talking out of my own experience with it. But that's how I feel. And I'm just happy. And now I feel like I'm more like, I'll just start things and do them as I can. I'm gonna be happy with what I make. I'm gonna be, I don't have that what if of starting later, because I feel like I don't know. I personally don't have a what if of like, what if I started later? It's mostly a, what if I did something earlier? But yeah, that like perspective on it is very like, I need to start, that's what makes me start like projects immediately. Even if like they tend to overlap a lot. Like I'm trying, like right now, let's say for example, my lapping things are, I'm writing a web novel, and it's overlapping into time. It's overlapping at the same time as I'm running a tipathon on Twitch to earn funds for a 3.0 model. And I'm like also at the same time recording these weekly every week to post on YouTube every Monday, right? Like all those are overlapping. And yeah, it's a lot on the workload, of course, right? And of course, breaks and stuff are important. But I feel like for me personally, in a motivation sense, I am more so like, I am just going to go. I'm going to do it. Even if it's more workload, I can take breaks when I need, but I am just going to push into it. I'm going to do it, and it's going to come out the way it comes out. and I'm going to be happy with what I did because I have made something I am happy with, and I've started it when I did, instead of holding off on it later and maybe like never getting around to it, right? And I am guilty of always of putting stuff off as well, for sure. Like I do put stuff off a lot of the time. And in the same way I've described the thought process of the struggle, it has given me that struggle. So it's definitely happened to me. I'm not like infallible with it. But I do try to do this, and it like I feel like it keeps me motivated like very, very often and most of the time. But I feel like I've pretty much encapsulated this topic as much as I can right now randomly. I also really need to sleep, so we'll just call it there. Yeah. If you have anything you want to add on the topic or suggest another topic, feel free to do so in the comments below. Like the video, I believe that helps the algorithm or whatnot. I don't know. And yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to add anything or talk about your own thoughts or dissect mine or add your own like question you might want me to talk about for the next week, let me know. Feel free to comment it down below. Other than that, I'm Fadelessword. I stream weekly. I'm gonna be streaming for the entire month of November every day on YouTube and Twitch, and that's me. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you in next week's video. I'll see you later. Thank you for joining in on this episode of Fade Yaps. I don't remember the number. I think it's 13. Okay, bye everyone. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.